going to show you how to make a delicious recipe from my book, The Complete Baby and Toddler Meal Planner. This recipe is chicken with sweet potato and apricots. I picked this recipe particularly because I think a lot of mums go on giving babies lots of fruit and vegetable purees, when actually from 6 months they do need meat, fish and chicken introduced into their diet, so much earlier than a lot of parents think. And that's because from 6 months, milk alone, whether it's breast milk or whether you're giving your child formula milk, doesn't supply everything your child needs. And one particular nutrient, iron, is very important. So red meat is very important from 6 months. So I've got over here some sauteed onions, which I sauteed for about 3 minutes. See in there. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. Now, I like adding things like garlic and herbs to baby purees because you can't add salt, so you want to add some flavour. Garlic adds flavour and it's good for you too. So I'm going to pop that in and just cook that up for a minute. Now, chicken is one of the best first meats you can give your baby. It's great because you can just put it together with so many different things. When I first introduced meat or chicken to babies, I like to mix it with lots of root vegetables because I love these sweet tasting root vegetables. That's probably because breast milk itself is sweet, so babies are born with a sweet tooth. And then to make it even more appealing to your baby, I add some extra sweetness by adding some fruit, so some dried apricots. I like adding savoury and fruit together. It works really well with babies. I mean, for any of those who've used my book, my avocado and banana puree, which sounds a very odd combination, is very, very popular. The other thing is to remember that healthy guidelines for adults, which are low fat and high fibre, are not actually right for babies because babies need proportionately more fat in their diet and less fibre. So once your child gets to about 6 months, it's a good idea to add some cheese to their vegetable purees or some yogurt to their fruit purees. And that's why fruits like avocado are good because they're higher in fat than other foods. And the reason babies need more fat in their diet is A, because they grow more rapidly in their first year than any other time in their entire life, and also because their tummies are very small, so they need what I call nutrient-dense food. So that's cooked up for about a minute, and I'm going to add some chicken breast. Put that in there. There we are. So I'm going to saute that until it's sealed. Now, babies usually eat quite well between 6 months and 1 year. You have that window of opportunity to introduce them to lots of different flavours, and it's really important because around that 1 year mark, they can become quite difficult. Life becomes more exciting, they can move around, they don't want to be sitting in a high chair, and also their growth rate slows down. So the more variety you can give them, the less likely it is they're going to become fussy eaters later on. Okay, so now that's sealed. I'm going to add my sweet potato and my dried apricot and some passata, which is just sieved tomatoes. That goes in here. And some unsalted chicken stock. And just stir that round. This is going to cook now for about 12 to 15 minutes. So it's a lovely combination of your sweet tasting root vegetables and your fruit and your chicken. And I'm going to leave that to cook for about 15 minutes. So purees are very important, but for around 7 months you want to be starting to introduce your child to a bit more texture. So you could maybe not puree it so finely or chop it up rather than pureeing it if your baby's a bit older. And alongside your purees, it's a good idea to give some finger foods. So, for example, dried apricots that I put in there make great finger food for your baby, or some steamed carrot, to get your baby used to using their muscles to chew, because these are the same muscles they use for speech. Now, I've made quite a lot. Do you think that's quite a lot for one baby? Which it is, you're absolutely right. That's because I'm going to freeze some in some small containers like this, because it's much more efficient if you make several portions at a time and batch freeze for your baby, and that way you can just be cooking at the weekend and have enough food for your baby all through the week. But you'll see in my book that I have all these wonderful meal planners so you can design your menu for the week ahead. Sometimes you can just give them like no-cook purees, like avocado or something like peach or banana. And other times you can whip something out your freezer, like this delicious chicken puree. And it also shows you how to introduce meat and fish and all the other foods your baby will need from 6 months. So that's all cooked now. Let's have a look. There we go. So the sweet potato is nice and tender, so it's ready to puree. So I'm going to use an electric hand blender. It's ideal for making baby purees. And the thing about this puree is that even though there's no salt, it just has a really tasty flavour to it. It's not bland at all. And it was interesting because when I first started writing books on babies, everybody said, oh, babies only like bland food, the blander the better, just give them pureed potato. And I tried that on babies and they actually didn't really like the bland food. They like the tasty food, things like this with some garlic and tomato and sweet root vegetables. And then I found that adding fruit was really helpful. So I made all these lovely combinations. And I suppose I've spent my life really experimenting on babies and seeing what they like. So we get this. There you are, that should be fine. I'm going to leave a little bit of texture in it and then pour it into my bowl. Now, let's see what that tastes like. I always think it's really important to taste it, because if you like it, then it's much more likely your baby's going to like it. Same with fruit, like always make sure the fruit is ripe. Don't give them unripe fruit which has no taste. Let's see. That is so tasty. Even adults would like that.